So I would like to share with you use of AlignRT with Halcyon from the patient setup to monitoring. And for this presentation, I have received sponsorship from VisionRT in order to attend this symposium. And ORLAM group works with VisionRT to develop SGRT solution for Halcyon. And what about ORLAM group? ORLAM group, we have 4 radiotherapy centers, 3 localized in Lyon and 1 in Mâcon. And the distance between Lyon and Mâcon is around 80 kilometers. We treated over 4,000 new patients per year, and we have 2 treatment planning systems, Eclipse and Waystation. We have also a unique database for the 4 sites with the Nutanix technology. And as everybody, we have some devices for our quality assurance. And maybe you are asking this question, why did we choose the Halcyon system? Historically, IMRT treatment and IGRT were used in our center until 2008. And 2 years later, we implemented VEMA technique. And in 2017, we decided to implement a unique database for Mâcon and Villeurbanne. Also, 1 year later, we have to connect 2 new centers to our database. And with the Nutanix technology, the connection is very easy. And at this time, we searched for an innovative new platform who can give us a fast installation first, and which will be easy to use, and we can apply IGRT for every fraction and every patient, and we can accelerate the treatment workflow. And finally, we would like that this system allow for a much closer connection between the patient and the therapist, because we think that it is very important. So you understand. The Halcyon machine is the most relevant to our needs if I compare to the CRM Linux. That's why here we can see the technical plateau of the ORLAM group. We have only 6 Halcyons, and we have also 1 Edge, and we still have 2 CRM Linux. But the question before Halcyon machine, breast cancer were treated in our centers with SGRT from Mâcon, not AlignRT. And because we use the light field and the MLC, and to validate the patient setup, we use IGRT. But with Halcyon machine, were designed with a Bohr architecture types. So we don't have any more the light field, so we have to change our workflow, the treatment workflow. And also this machine ask us for IGRT for every fraction. And the table can move only in 3 directions. And AlignRT was installed in our centers, and to evaluate this new system, we carried out a perspective analysis of this accuracy of a patient setup with SGRT on Halcyon. Here, our patient selection from Villeurbanne, Chaco, and Mermoz sites, they don't have AlignRT solution. That's why I selected 10 patients treated without AlignRT and 10 fractions each. And now for Mâcon site, we have AlignRT. That's why I selected 10 patients treated with AlignRT and 10 fractions each. So as you can see, our patient selection are totally randomly. Without AlignRT, we have 4 tattoos, and we have to align them together. At the beginning of the handling, we created a lot of return of interest, centered return of interest to check the patient setup. For example, arm, chin, tail, contralateral, breast, and breast also. But with the use, and to avoid creating a lot of region of interest, we decided to create only 1 region of interest, only one, the whole external contour, to have an overview and to obtain precise centering. Because with region of interest separately, we can forget some region. So with this whole external contour, therapists can look everywhere. And to validate the patient setup, we create an isocentric region of interest. For this study, AlignRT were used with 3 cameras setup. Here are results for our study. Firstly, without AlignRT, we can see we have a lot of shift. This is the table shift after CBCT, and we can see that the average of the shift is up to 2 millimeters, and the standard deviation is up to 5 millimeters. And with AlignRT, we can see that we obtain better result, and we have also the average of the shift after the CBCT close to 0 millimeter, and the standard deviation is up to 3.5 millimeters. But the very interest use of AlignRT is the possibility to correct the rotations issues. Here we can see without AlignRT, we can see the rotation issues, and we can make correction before images. And with AlignRT, we can see rotation issues, and we apply correction, and after we make images, and as you can see here, we obtain a very good result. The same for the arms, here without AlignRT, here with AlignRT. So to summarize this study, we can say that AlignRT give us the possibility to reduce the amplitude of the shifts, especially rotation issues, if you compare to tattoos techniques. And we also let us the possibility to avoid repositioning patients and redoing images, so we can save time and doses to deliver to the patient. And maybe in the future we have to make investigation, central camera with a limited surface coverage. Maybe we can apply DABH in 1 degree of freedom treatment. And finally, we need dedicated solution. But not finished, my presentation is not finished. So if I stop here, for me it misses something. So that's why we have a challenge about the standard camera setup. Historically, when VisionRT decided to install our solution on Halcyon, they decided to install only 2 cameras. But with this setup, we have a drawback. When therapists are standing near the patient, the camera field of view is hidden, leading to an insufficient surface overlap. So after some discussion with VisionRT, they finally decided to install 3 cameras, like our TrueBeam installation. And with three cameras, we don't have more occlusion issues, but cameras still calibrated to external laser of the bore. And we don't have the tracking inside the bore. So that's why, again, we have some discussion between in front of whiskey glasses. And finally, after some glasses, they decided to give me the possibility to adjust the camera setup. Because when I saw Philippe Mathieu or Jad Farhad, the French VisionRT team, I always said to them, with an optimized positioning of the central camera, maybe we can track inside the bore and allow the ABH treatment. That's why we try to prove by experiments. By moving the central camera, we shifted this camera 40 centimeters closer and 110 centimeters above. We can see here the central camera above the ISO center and tilt toward Halcyon ISO center. And sure, thanks to Philippe Mathieu for lending his body for science. Thank you, Philippe. So here I want to show you a result inside the bore, so firstly tracking accuracy, we try to shift the couch 1 centimeter every direction. Here we can see we obtain very good result, so no compromise on tracking accuracy. This is on breast, Philip, in the breast position. We can see here we didn't see the supraclavicular, chin and arm, and for this case for head and neck treatment. So we obtain limited visibility even with 5 degrees of breast board of upper torso, arm and chin. So we can say that this setup cannot be used for intracranial and head and neck and breast treatment. Here, result with patient coaching and beam gating. We can see here that coaching is okay and gating works, but only if we are happy to monitor in 1 degree of freedom. Because as you can see, not a rock, but we don't have enough surface to monitor in 6 degrees of freedom. So to summarize of our experiment, we cannot use this setup for intracranial and head and neck and breast treatment. And as you understand, the ABH with 6 degrees of freedom is not possible. Yeah. But I still have lots of questions. What can VisionRT offer for Halcyon SGRT solution? That's why, again, I call Philippe and some whiskey glasses. And finally, the French VisionRT team talked to me good news. Nice. Because finally, VisionRT response for Halcyon's SGRT solution is a Mercury prototype. Yeah. So again, we met together and we tried to make an evaluation of this new system. And here I want to show you result inside the bore. Firstly, tracking accuracy. As previously we applied 1 centimeter shift in every direction, and we obtain accuracy within 0.2 millimeter without ACO calibration. And we obtain frame rate around 7 FPS. And what about the surface coverage with Emily? We can see here a very good coverage and resolution. The stability of real-time deltas in monitoring and treatment capture is very good also. Here, example of the result of our experiments. The real-time coach paired with the Mercury camera, and also the coaching is okay, getting works, but in this time, in a 6 degree of freedom, because we try to have issue, pitch, rod, and rotation, and Mercury give us the issues.
Yeah, looks good.
We continue to experiment because it's new, and we have now solution inside the bore that I waited for a long time ago, and that's why I'm so excited to test SRS treatment, because as I explained previously, Halcyon machine can move only on 3 directions, and with the VisionRT solution with the head adjuster, we can bring the 3D table to 6D table. And we can see here we obtain a really good coverage for the SRS treatment, and we try to obtain the issue by asking to Philippe to make some movement, and we can see that the new system can see easily the shift. The same for the head and neck, we obtain enough information to work. And for free breathing breast, as previously, the difference for the central camera, now we obtain enough information to work. We can see that the camera make capture of the arm chin, and every region of interest for to monitor the patient and to obtain the 6 degree to treat with patient with the ABH. The same for pelvic treatment. So finally, to summarize, we obtain good accuracy, good surface coverage for all types of treatments. And finally, Mercury top prototype responds perfectly to our needs. But I have the last question. When is the clinical version? Normal. So for me, the goal is the solution inside the bore, because we can make a lot of things inside the bore. For the setup outside is very good if we have AlignRT, but if we have both solution, it will be marvelous for me, because of Halcyon machine can generate CBCT under 15 seconds if we compare to CRM Linux. And this kind of machine asks us AlignRT for every fraction. So for me, the treatment with the ABH is very dedicated. This machine is very dedicated for this kind of treatment. So Norman, you can see here, I already obtained 1 million likes of my idea. So you can give me now my clinical version of your new system. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for this interesting talk and this funny talk about this new technique. Are there very urgent questions? They're a little bit running out of time.
So it was a very interesting lecture. Thank you very much. I'd like to ask, you have the RPM camera at the end of the couch as well in the Halcyon. So how do you integrate the information that you get from there? And
how I integrate or
your system and your clinic, how do you use the
good question. For external setup, we don't have problem, because we have the 3 cameras, and these cameras point in the laser, so it's so far enough, so we don't have problem. And inside, vision that these companies have a good job.
And they usually merge.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. External calibration, inside calibration, we made test, and we are under 0 to 0.2 millimeters without ACO calibration. But
okay, so thank you. From my place, I didn't see the answer to the question, when will we get a clinical version? So was there an answer from the company? I think it would be interesting for CT scanners as well, not only for accelerators, to get a good surface from the CT scanner. So maybe it's 1 million and one like.
So just a quick answer from the company. We're hoping to show something in 2020.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.